Hello, viewers. We are again here, Syed and I. We have been talking about the fractured democracy in the United States of America. The democracy is our one of the biggest assets, and it's our biggest claim. We have gone around more than half of the world to spread the seeds of democracy and teach people those our arch enemies. Label them with human rights abuses and dictatorial trends or dictatorial systems. But here, what is happening in the United States? What is our democracy going through? What have we come to, from where, and where are we going? We have been talking, this is election year, and we have been talking, Syed and I have been talking, and you've been very participative. You've been encouraging us, you've been giving your feedback, and we've been talking about whatever happened to democracy in the USA, and what can we do to salvage that? Democracy is a government said the best by none other than the great Abraham Lincoln. The government of the people, government for the people, and government by the people. People, people, people. People are the heart and soul of democracy. 325, 330 million people who live in the United States, they are affected on daily basis by the democracy that we live in. How much of it is democracy? How much of it is not? Luckily, I feel very privileged that we are living in the era of information. This is the information age. Knowledge is power. Information is gateway to that power. Social media, technological progress, democratization of media has brought us to this point. And today we're going to talk about two very, very important things that have happened recently, which has awakened a large, vast majority of youth in the United States. And this is going to challenge the duopoly of the two political parties who have been ruling here in cahoots with each other against people, not for people. Both of these parties, no matter what they claim, no matter how they package themselves, they work for themselves and their vested interest partners, but not for people. So what happened recently is the two wars that this administration brought upon us. These wars were not due. These wars were not called for. The Ukraine war, where Russia and Ukraine dialogue or dispute has been going on for over 20 years. Russia did not want NATO to install its guns on the Ukrainian border, Russian-Ukrainian border. They've been warning, telling, negotiating, talking to Ukraine. But all of a sudden, the most popular government, democratically elected government in Ukraine is disassembled, destroyed, people move, and then this joker, Zelensky, is installed there, who seems like nobody else other than a complicit who came to fulfill the NATO agenda. We will go into those details. Our topic is democracy, so we'll focus on the domestic impact of this war and the other war which is going on in the Middle East. Middle East has long been a conflict zone, and we have played our significant part in that. This recent war that started in Gaza, and there is a full heads-on genocide going on of the Palestinians by the Israelis in collaboration with the empire of the United States of America. Israel could not dare do that if America was not involved in that full heads-on. How far this blood splatters and how much it shatters our democracy, we will see the effect of this thing long time. Sayed, I want to draw your attention to especially with the Gazan war and the genocide of the Palestinians going on, there is a widespread of demonstrations and protests all over the country, especially wherever the young people summit, like in universities and educational institutions. And we see a clear divide between people who are against the people who are against genocide. They've been conflicting, and the administrations of these schools and the state governments and the federal government, they've all been taking sides to it. You tell me, how is it affecting our youth, and how is it going to affect in the longer run to our democracy?
So first thing I want to mention is when you called democracy, I would call it oligarchy, quote unquote. So that's uh, as you mentioned, the youth, right? In the wake of these two wars, especially the most recent war in Gaza, what people have realized is there have been massive protests, as you mentioned, all across the country, all across the nation, and uh, there is no positive response from the government in order to call out the Israeli government with regarding the attacks that they're conducting and the genocide that they're conducting with such impunity on the Gazans. So what people have came to realize, uh, there's one positive thing that I've seen. Of course, I mean, the war that's happening right now is, it's really heart-wrenching, when you see all these young children dying, elderly dying, women being killed ruthlessly in this carpet bombing that's taking place in Gaza. But what, on the other hand, the American people have realized is, and I'm seeing this trend in every common Joe, that they are now beginning to think whether both sides that they have, the Democratic side or the Republic side, have they ever actually represented the true interest of a common man, the domestic issues, the national issues that we face? Have they ever actually represented those issues? So people are now sitting back, actually taking a step back and analyzing what's happening right now. It's devastating. It's a holocaust and remaking that's happening right now. So what people are now beginning to realize, and that realization is taking into actual practical steps where people are trying to now support organic grassroots leaders, and I've seen they're trying to fund them and campaign them for their campaigning against these super PACs that have rigged the system completely. They have they completely own both sides, the two party system, the Democratic side and the Republican side. So I see, especially in the youth, they are uh, they are sort of supporting these grassroots leaders that are coming up and that are standing up against all this massive coalition of super PACs that have completely entangled the country and are controlling uh, every uh, foreign policy measure that's being taken in the United States. So would I'm glad that we're meeting regarding this issue, as a continuation of our series of fractured democracy. And I would like for you to say something, or a few words of encouragement of how people should continue to challenge this, this oligarchy that's completely engulfed the actual democratic system in our country.
Democracy is by participation. The larger number of people participates, the more you're flourishing and dynamic your democracy is. The stronger is the democracy where larger is the participation of people. If you look at our guiding documents, the Charter of Human Rights, the United States Constitution, the First Amendment, then they say whoever you cannot speak against, they are ruling you. We need to see who is ruling us, who we cannot speak, what is happening, who is controlling educational institutions here, who is controlling media here, and who's controlling finance here. These three strongest sectors which affect democracy very, very profoundly. Who is controlling them? Where is the dialogue that people could have? We talked in one of the series episodes, we talked about Citizen United and how Citizen United has weakened our democracy. All these PACs started popping on both sides. It's the Democrats as well as Republicans who have built super PACs. And of course, whoever raises that kind of money has vested interest, and they do. You see how the administration has lobbied, the government has lobbied in favor of a country to its people. They have actually come out as a party, and instead of stopping that genocide and instead of asking Israel to stop that war, they become a very, very open and active party to it. Blinken, when the first time he talked about it, he said, I'm a Jew and I'm here and I feel your pain. While they were carpet bombing and they killed more than 25,000 civilians, many of them were women and children.
And these are what the Secretary...
This is Secretary of State of the United States is speaking about. A country like South Africa, it's not a Muslim country, it's not a Middle Eastern country, which is not, in anything to do with this directly, stands up against and speaks against this injustice, and not just speaks, goes and files. So our youth is very, very intelligent and very, very informed. They're very engaged in these kind of issues. They understand what is going on. Now, there is a system in this country, broken, fractured democracy, whatever it is, it's a system. And in a system, unless you have the ability to change that system with a revolution, or you can, replace that system, the only way is to participate in the system and bring an evolutionary change into it. And in a democratic system, you bring change by participating in it. And participation in democracy is not just voting every 4 years or voting in primaries or attending a few meetings. Democracy demands a citizen's participation on a daily basis. When you stand up for your rights, when you say that, why can't I get health care when we're asking for $100 billion to give to Israel so they can bomb more civilians? When you cannot stand up for that, or you don't stand up, it means you're weakening your democracy by giving up your rights. You pay taxes, we pay taxes. All the money that government spends and they make policies are with our money. Do we want $100 billion of our money to go and bomb innocent civilians and children in another country? People are standing up to this thing. Youth, for the first time, is realizing that we can do something about it. We need to stop this. No matter how these lobbying and activism groups are and how much money they are spending and pouring into this thing, there is no bigger power in a democracy than a citizen's voice. Now, youth, the kids, the students, the people are standing up and they want their voice heard. They want their government, their system, their democracy to do things for them, not for others. They deserve it. Our education system, our healthcare system, our social security and system, and our infrastructure, they're crumbling. And we are going and we are not only supporting people who are or countries which are involved in genocide, but we are raising our hypocritical voice against other countries which are doing good for their people, no matter how you see them. If they're doing good for their people, they're taking care of them, they're giving them health care, they're giving them better education, we should learn from them instead of criticizing and conspiring against. And that's what people are realizing. And that's what democracy is all about. Now it's up to us to get up and get out and talk to other people, starting from our families and friends and their extended circle, and then neighborhood and communities, and organize them and bring them out and make them part of this increasing voice, which speaks against injustice, which speaks for attaining your rights from these groups. And then only we can strengthen our democracy. Your final words, sir.
I completely am in agreement with what you just mentioned. This sort of grassroots movement that is arising as a result of the genocide that's taking place in Gaza, I think it's going to bring new, better, brand new, honest, committed, and dedicated leaders for the American people that are going to challenge these super PACs in the future. And in the future, I see a very bright lot of new politicians, youngsters, who are pro-peace that are going to enter the political arena of the United States. And I think we need to continue, like you mentioned, continue.
My last word is, yeah, sorry, please finish your thought.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My last word is that a citizen's $1 spent to strengthen our democracy is far more powerful than $1 million spent by a vested interest group or a PAC. I want us, all of us, for our generations to come, for our lives, for our better future, for this country's future, for strengthening our democracy, and for staying as the world leaders, we must do our bit to strengthen our democracy. I want to thank you very much, Syed, and I want to thank you all for being a part of this dialogue where we identify and analyze the issues which are affecting which have fractured the United States democracy and which we can change to strengthen this and make our lives and our country better. Thank you very much.